we trust in human political leaders or God? Will God eventually put a permanent end to evil human governments? Let's look at 2 Kings chapter 9. How did Jehu become anointed as the 10th king of Israel? Elisha the prophet called one of the sons of the prophets and said to him, "Put your belt on your waist, take this vial of oil in your hand, and go to Ramoth Gilead. When you come there, find Jehu the son of Jehoshaphat, the son of Nimshi, and go in and make him rise up from among his brothers, and take him to an inner room. Then take the vial of oil and pour it on his head, and say, 'Yahweh says, I've anointed you king over Israel.' Then open the door, flee, and don't wait." So the young man, the young prophet, went to Ramoth Gilead. When he came, behold, the captains of the army were sitting. Then he said, "I have a message for you, captain." Jehu said, "To which one of us?" he said. "To you, O captain." He arose and went into the house. Then he poured the oil on his head and said to him, "Yahweh, the God of Israel, says, I've anointed you king over the people of Yahweh, even over Israel." Did the son of the prophets instruct Jehu to exterminate the house of Ahab? "You'll strike down your master Ahab's family. In this way I'll take revenge for the violence done by Jezebel to my servants the prophets, and to all the Lord's servants. Ahab's whole family will die. I'll eliminate from Ahab everyone who urinates on a wall, whether slave or free, in Israel. I'll make Ahab's dynasty like the dynasty of Jeroboam, Nebat's son, and like the dynasty of Baasha, Ahijah's son. And as for Jezebel, the dogs will devour her in the area of Jezreel. No one will bury her." Then the young prophet opened the door and ran. Jehu went out to his master's officers. They said to him, "Is everything okay? Why did this fanatic come to you?" Jehu said to them, "You know the man and the nonsense he talks." "That's a lie," they said. "Come on, tell us." Jehu replied, "This is what he said to me. This is what the Lord says. I anoint you king of Israel." Then each man quickly took his cloak and put it beneath Jehu on the paved steps. They blew a trumpet and said, "Jehu has become king." Did Jehu then set out to see King Joram with a troop of men? King Joram of Israel had been badly wounded in the battle at Ramoth, trying to defend it against King Hazael and the Syrian army. Joram was now recovering in Jezreel, and King Ahaziah of Judah was there, visiting him. Meanwhile, Jehu was in Ramoth, making plans to kill Joram. He said to his officers, "If you want me to be king, then don't let anyone leave this town. They might go to Jezreel and tell Joram." Then Jehu got in his chariot and rode to Jezreel. When the guard in the watchtower at Jezreel saw Jehu and his men riding up, he shouted to the king, "I see a large group of men coming this way." Joram ordered, "Send someone out to ask them if this is a friendly visit." One of the soldiers rode out and said to Jehu, "King Joram wants to know if this is a friendly visit." "What's it to you?" Jehu asked. "Just stay behind me with the rest of my troops." About the same time, the guard in the watchtower said, "Your Majesty, the rider got there, but isn't coming back." So Joram sent out another rider, who rode up to Jehu and said, "The king wants to know if this is a friendly visit." "What's it to you?" Jehu asked. "Just get behind me with the rest of my troops." The guard in the watchtower said, "Your Majesty, the rider got there, but he isn't coming back either." "Wait a minute. That one man is a reckless chariot driver. It must be Jehu." Was it well known that Joram was typical of the descendants of Jezebel, disloyal to God? Joram said, "Make ready," and they made ready his chariot. Then Joram king of Israel and Ahaziah king of Judah set out, each in his chariot, and went to meet Jehu, and met him at the property of Naboth the Jezreelite. And when Joram saw Jehu, he said, "Is it peace, Jehu?" He answered, "What peace can there be, so long as the whorings and the sorceries of your mother Jezebel are so many?" Then Joram reined about and fled, saying to Ahaziah, "Treachery, O Ahaziah! And Jehu drew his bow with his full strength and shot Joram between the shoulders, so that the arrow pierced his heart, and he sank in his chariot. Jehu said to Bidkar his aide, "Take him up and throw him on the plot of ground belonging to Naboth the Jezreelite. For remember, when you and I rode side by side behind Ahab his father, how the Lord made this pronouncement against him. As surely as I saw yesterday the blood of Naboth and the blood of his sons, declares the Lord, I will repay you on this plot of ground. Now therefore take him up and throw him on the plot of ground, in accordance with the word of the Lord." After executing Joram of Israel, according to God's instructions, did Jehu chase evil King Ahaziah of Judah, also known as Jehoahaz. When King Ahaziah of Judah saw what was happening, he fled up the road toward Beth-Hagan. Jehu pursued him, shouting, "Shoot him too!" So they shot him in his chariot at Gur Pass, near Ibleam. But he fled to Megiddo and died there. Then his servants carried him to Jerusalem in a chariot and buried him in his father's tomb in the city of David. It was in the 11th year of Joram son of Ahab that Ahaziah had become king over Judah. What happened to evil Jezebel to fulfill a prophecy regarding her death? As soon as Jehu arrived at Jezreel, Jezebel adorned her eyes, arranged her hair, and peered out a window. When Jehu had entered through the gate, she asked, "Was Zimri, who murdered his master, received well?" Jehu looked up toward the window and called out, "Who's on my side? Who?" When 2 or 3 eunuchs looked out at him, he ordered, "Throw her down." So they did, and her blood splashed against the wall and on the horses, while Jehu trampled her underfoot. Later on, after he'd come in to eat and drink, he ordered, "Go and see to this cursed woman, and bury her, because she was a king's daughter." But when they went out to bury her, they found nothing left of her except her skull, her feet, and the palms of her hands. So they returned and reported to Jehu, and he responded, "This fulfills this message from the Lord that he spoke through his servant Elijah the foreigner, who said, 'Dogs will eat Jezebel's flesh on the property of Jezreel, and her corpse will lie like dung on the surface of the field, on the property in Jezreel. But no one will say, this is Jezebel.'" Will Christ eventually put a permanent end to all evil human governments? Then comes the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to God, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power, for he must reign, till he's put all enemies under his feet. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. Do we trust in human political leaders or God? Will God eventually put a permanent end to evil human governments? You decide.